Hello, and welcome to another episode of Video Game Reviews. Today I'll be talking about Arcade Archives, Haunted Castle on the Nintendo Switch. If you don't know, Haunted Castle is a game developed by Konami for an arcade release in 1987. Oh, and worth mentioning, it is pretty obscure. It's kind of a Castlevania game, technically it is, but fortunately they had the good sense not to put the Castlevania title on this one. And it's simply titled Haunted Castle. If you're wondering which came first, the chicken or the egg, Castlevania 1 came out the year before Haunted Castle. In this game, you do play as a character named Simon, and Dracula kidnaps your bride-to-be on what appears to be your wedding day. Although it also kind of looks like you just came from the prom or something, based on the clothes that they're wearing in the intro. So, from a story perspective, it resembles Ghosts and Goblins as much as it does Castlevania. Castlevania doesn't usually feature a kidnapping most of the time, at least in the classic ones, and if you take a look at Simon in this opening scene with his tuxedo and 80s hair metal do, boy. Anyways, look, I'll start with the positives. First, Haunted Castle is a video game, so that's cool, in theory. Seriously, though, the graphics have that late 80s arcade look, which is a pretty cool aesthetic, and frankly, the animations are smoother than average for a Castlevania game, or really for any game in 1987. Also, the music in the first stage is a top-shelf Castlevania banger. Also, I seem to remember the last stage's music being pretty good, and a lot of the tunes in the middle of the game are, they're okay. So look, anyways, that pretty much wraps up the positive aspects of Haunted Castle, in my opinion. This janky pile has a 3 out of 10 from Nintendo Life, and I would say that's pretty accurate. It's pretty accurate. There are some issues with the screen not scrolling properly in some areas, which becomes really problematic when you're trying to leap over bottomless pits while being attacked by conveniently placed bats. Castlevania has always had, intentionally being the key word, intentionally rigid feeling controls, but they are always absolutely on point. Again, talking about the classic Castlevania games in particular here. From the delay of your whip swing to the sort of stubby, heavy feel of the jump, Castlevania has always been very deliberately about precise timing and positioning. Well, Haunted Castle pretty much throws that out the window. Sometimes Simon would simply stop walking forward for no apparent reason. And my controller is in fine working order, by the way. Also, somehow they managed to make his jump feel simultaneously stiff and floaty. I don't even know how it's possible that those two things go together at the same time. For the Castlevania fan who is curious about this steaming pile, it sells for $7.99 on the eShop and could be worth that price, I guess, if you simply must know for yourself. But if you're a Castlevania fan and you want to know if you've missed out on something, the answer is no. Absolutely feel free to pretend that this game does not exist. It doesn't bear the Castlevania name, thank God, and you can have a perfectly respectable collection without it. Anyways, that pretty much does it for this one. If you've enjoyed the show and want to see more, I hope you'll click like and subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time, whenever that may be. Bye-bye.